Do you want to know how to be a calm parent to a toddler? Well, I'm Nicholeen Peck. I've raised 4 children of my own. I'm a parenting expert, and I've worked with numerous families all over the world with children of all ages. So in this video, we're going to talk about how you can be a more calm parent to help your toddler. When we get those new little bundles of joy in our lives, we do not anticipate that we are going to turn into monster mommies and demanding daddies. We want to be united with them, bonded, hugs, cuddles. Those are the things we think about. And then they start making mistakes and they start doing disobedient things and being unkind to their siblings and sometimes even having attitude problems and being unkind to us even when they're toddlers. The whining, the crying, it wears on us. And sometimes we start doing things we regret. It's because we don't know what else to do. I always tell people, you don't know what you don't know. So I want to share with you some of my secrets today for what I do to be a calm mom for toddlers, teens, or any age. When a person chooses calmness and they can keep their calm no matter what's happening around them, they're actually having self-government. So what is self-government? Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. This means that as a parent, you have chosen to analyze yourself, make a plan for yourself, and course correct as needed to become the best, calmest version of yourself possible. Calmness is possible, but I want to tell you something. It does take practice. Years ago, a woman attended one of my seminars and she left with my class called The Power of Calm, which is probably one of my most popular audio classes. She came back the next year to the conference I was speaking at. It was the same conference. She came and found me. I didn't remember who she was, but she knew me and she said, "Nicholeen, I have to report to you." I said, "Okay." And she said, "Even though you may not think it, because I don't seem like I would be an out of control person, I had turned into a monster. And now every week for a year, I have listened to the Power of Calm class, and I can finally say that I am calm." I was so excited for her. I gave her a big hug and we talked about what she had done to choose calmness in her life. This is an important thing to remember. We choose calmness. You have to pick it. It's not something that happens to you, which means that you have to make a calm plan for yourself. Now, on my website, teachingselfgovernment.com, there is a calm parenting toolkit that is free, and it will help you with your calmness. So go there and take that calm parenting toolkit. In fact, there's a link in the description below that will take you to that calm parenting toolkit. So after this video, go there to get some more help with your calmness. But for now, let's talk about some of the basics of creating a calm plan, even though I can't go into quite all of the detail that's contained in that calm parenting toolkit. A calm plan requires analyzing yourself and deciding what happens to you when you choose not to be calm. That's super important. What are some of the flags or cues that you know happen to you right before you lose control? A person identifies those things and then determines what they will think the moment they recognize those cues or triggers. And they use those same triggers that would normally lead them toward anger, frustration, annoyance, or other emotional outbursts, and instead uses those triggers to trigger them toward going through with their entire calm plan. So, a calm plan requires creating a skill for yourself. For me, I look at the situation that's happening. Maybe I've got little ones who are fighting over something, or they're hanging on my leg and they're whining and I'm trying to make dinner, or something like that that happens with toddlers. And I think to myself, okay, chaos is happening right now, craziness is going on. What do I need to do? So first, I recognize what's happening. I describe it to myself with my prefrontal cortex. Instead of going to the emotional part of my brain, I start describing what I see. And I don't describe it in emotional ways. I don't use words like flipping out, tantruming, stuff like that. Instead, I say, this child right now needs something. They feel like they're not being understood, or they don't have a calm voice tone right now. I need to help them learn how to have a calm voice tone. So once I can describe what's happening in a way that's not emotional, then I can plan for what to do to help the child. Now, if I'm not ready, then I might need to take myself to another place to get calm. In the Calm Parenting Toolkit, I talk about different ways that a person can choose to get calm when they remove themselves from a situation. So let's say I go get calm, then I return. I need to know exactly what to say next so that I don't go into that mode where I become the version of myself that is not calm. So even though I got calm, it's super dangerous when you come back to the situation because it's tempting to first give in to those emotions you might have thought first before you started describing the situation. So you need to go back to a description and you describe to the child, this is what's happening, this is what should happen, and then you even correct the child. So we're going to talk about the process to go through to help the child not choose to be out of control anymore. But first, you have to know what you need to do. Now, let's say you have a child holding onto your leg, crying and whining because they need something and you're trying to make dinner. What's most important? You need to ask yourself that question. Is the dinner most important? Is your schedule most important? Or is the child most important? Even though the child is not communicating in a way that is productive or kind or effective at really being understood, that child is more important than the dinner. So turn off the stove, move the pan to a jet where it won't get burned, hopefully, and if it's burned, so be it. But you move it and you turn toward the child, you make eye contact with the child. If you are not calm at that time, you need to say, Mommy is going to have a calm down, and then we will talk about this. So then you go and do your calm plan. Now, again, I don't have time to go into the entire calm plan here, but the Calm Parenting Toolkit, which is free to you, will help you with that calm plan. So then once you get calm, you can come back and you can talk to the child about what they needed. You can help them communicate in a way that's more effective, and you can probably also correct them for not communicating the right way the first time. They need to be corrected in order to learn how to master themselves and communicate more effectively so that they can get their way more often. Here are some key things that you can do to maintain your calmness in any situation. Number one, don't take things personally. Just because your child is upset does not mean that you have not done a good job as a parent. That's important. Sometimes we think when our children, especially the little ones, aren't happy, that somehow we're failing. And that's not true. Oftentimes, they just don't have the skill development yet to communicate what they need. And it is up to us to teach them the skills, but that does happen over time. Toddlers have a very small ability to problem solve because their prefrontal cortexes are very tiny. The next thing that a parent can do is understand emotions and not be fooled by emotions. Just because that child is showing emotion does not mean that the child needs pampering or needs you to make their emotion better. What you have to realize is that they have to choose to control their emotion. In fact, if you're constantly trying to fix all of their emotional outbursts with extrinsic things, then they'll never gain the power that comes from knowing they get to choose to be calm all on their own. In fact, you choosing to be calm teaches them how to choose to be calm too. And calmness does not come by what happens to you. It comes from making a choice. So help your toddler make the choice to be calm. Point out that they can pick calmness. Sometimes I say to them, you're not happy right now. You should choose to be happy. Take a deep breath and tell yourself to be happy. Sometimes we have to boil it down for them so that they can make that correct choice in the minute. But if we remember it's our choice to be calm, then we can also help them remember it's their choice to be calm too. There's 3 truths that we have to accept in order to stay calm when our toddlers go out of control. Number 1, accept that they get angry. They do. They're learning how to communicate. That's part of it. They whine, they complain. Until they really master the skills of self-government, they will continue to have moments where they have emotional meltdowns. Number two, we have to accept that parenting takes more work than we probably want to put in. I know somebody should have given us a disclaimer before we had the child in the first place, but it's okay. We wanted that child based on all the beautiful things that we've experienced with them. So now let's just make the work of parenting them and helping them sort out their problems beautiful too. That happens by changing our mindset and deciding that we're okay with the work, deciding that we're okay with training. We have to accept that they require training. Those are the three things. Accept they will get angry and have tantrums, accept they require training, and accept that it's going to take work. If we can accept those things, then hopefully we won't allow ourselves to get to that place where we're not calm. What if all parents decided that the effort that we're putting forth in this parenting of Toddler's business is good, is energizing, is what they were meant to do with their lives? I think people spread the idea socially that somehow children get in the way of living our lives. What if we changed our mind and decided that the children were our lives, that these tantrums are exactly what we were meant for? In fact, this is our mission, to help them through this difficult time in their life where they are learning and growing and maturing and becoming that bigger version of themselves that can solve their own problems. What if? Well, no what ifs about it. Really, it's true. That's what we were meant for. And I think when we fight against that, that's when we are choosing not to be calm. We become selfish. We start thinking about our to-do lists, our sleep, our peace, instead of recognizing who we are is a teacher of them. We picked that when they were born. We were excited about it. Now we have to embrace it the whole time. I hope this was useful for you. Calmness can be difficult, especially when the children are in those toddler years, but I know that it's possible. If this was useful for you, I'm pretty sure you're gonna love my next video, which is how to get your child to obey the first time. You need that. You know, you can teach those toddler self-government skills right now. They are not too young. In fact, it's the perfect time. Click on the link.